You're wasting 80% of your study time. You think you're studying efficiently, but you're actually just burning hours for no reason. What if I told you there's a way to cut your study time in half without losing a single mark? Sounds illegal, right? But it's not. And no, this isn't some motivational fluff. It's science-backed. And it works. Let me guess. You come home from work, class, or a long day of responsibilities. You've got a few hours before bed, maybe less. You tell yourself, okay, time to study. You sit down to study, open your books, you start reading, and suddenly it's midnight, and you've learned nothing. Your assignment is due, your exam is coming up, and you've learned nothing. And when you do start studying, you take way too long to go through a single chapter. The worst part, you think that studying more hours equals better results. Wrong. The top students aren't studying harder, they're studying smarter. With work, family, projects, sports, and hobbies, your schedule is already packed. And today, I'm about to show you how to legally cheat the system. I still remember my first big exam. The night before, I was staring at my textbook trying to cram an entire semester's worth of material into my brain. Every page felt like a blur. I was praying that some miracle would happen overnight. The next day, disaster. My mind went blank, and I walked out knowing I had just bombed it. The worst part, I had studied. I had spent hours grinding, and it got me nowhere. That's when I realized studying longer doesn't mean studying better. The truth is, 80% of what you're studying is a complete waste of time. Most students try to go through everything, rewatching lectures, rereading notes, rewriting summaries. But guess what? Those are things that will never be tested. Tip number 1, the 80-20 rule for studying. Did you know that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your study effort? So study only what matters. Here's how to do this. Step 1. Find past exams and see which topics appear the most because teachers repeat questions. Step 2. Only focus on those topics first. Step 3. Skip the stuff that's never tested. Think of it like this. If you had just 2 hours to prepare for a test, where would you focus? That is how you should study every single day. Tip number 2. The active recall hack. Your brain learns best when it's forced to recall information, not when it's just passively absorbing it. If you can't recall it without looking, you don't actually know it. Here's the fix. First, turn every chapter into a mini quiz. Use past papers or make flashcards for this. 2. Don't write summaries, write questions instead. 3. If you can't answer something, write it down and review only that. The reason this works? Your brain needs struggle to remember. Reading is easy, but testing yourself is hard, and that's why it works. Tip number 3. The Parkinson's Law study hack. Do you ever find yourself taking too much time on one task, or maybe you are unable to finish studying in a given time? Well, this is for you. Parkinson's Law states that work expands to fill the time allocated for it. What does this mean? If you give yourself 8 hours to study, guess what? It'll take you 8 hours. If you give yourself 2, you might finish in 2 hours or less. How to apply this in your next study or work session. Step 1. Set a strict deadline. For example, I will finish this chapter in 25 minutes. Step 2. Use a visible timer to create urgency. Step 3. Trick your brain. Pretend the exam is tomorrow. Watch how fast you start absorbing information. If you think you need 4 hours to study, set a 2-hour timer instead. You'll be shocked at how much faster you get through it. Tip number 4, dopamine detox study hack. Here's why you procrastinate and don't feel like studying. TikTok, Netflix, and social media give you instant dopamine hits. Studying? It's delayed reward. Your brain hates that. It loves fast pleasure and social media gives it just that. Here's how to fix it. 10 minutes before studying, sit in silence, no phone, no music, just boredom. Your brain will crave stimulation, so when you start studying, it will actually feel rewarding. This works because your brain shifts from instant gratification mode to deep work mode. You'll be shocked at how locked in you get when you try this in your next session. Alright, you've now got the secrets to studying faster, smarter, and more efficiently. But knowing this means nothing if you don't take action. Try just one of these techniques today, whether it's the 80-20 rule, active recall, or setting time limits, and see how much faster you get through your work. And if you are someone who is struggling with deadlines or trying to balance college, work, sports, and family, I've got resources to help. Whether you need study resources, guidance, or a done-for-you service to pass your course, check the link in the description or in this channel's About section. Sometimes you're juggling work, assignments, deadlines, and you simply don't have the time to do it all. That's the kind of help we give to people like you. Check the links below or in the Home About section of this channel. Don't let studying control your life. Take control, make it efficient, and get the results you actually deserve. If this video helped, drop a comment below with what you're struggling with most. I might cover it in my next video. See you in the next one.